I'm going to tell you the top 3 airline sweet spots for the month of February. What's up, Wise Flyers? Welcome to another video. If you're new here and you want to learn how to travel anywhere in the world almost free by using credit cards and travel points, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss a thing. There are tons of airline sweet spots out there, which are the best ways to get the most value out of your miles and points. If you're not sure what an airline sweet spot is, basically it's part of an award chart, which is part of an airline loyalty program to get the most value out of your miles and points, which are better than most of the ways you could redeem with that certain airline. So if you're gonna redeem your miles and points, you might as well go for the sweet spots to get the most value out of those hard-earned points. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the top 3 sweet spots for the month of February. So let's get started with the first one. If you want to go to South America using British Airways Avios points, you could get from Miami to Bogota, Colombia, or Quito, Ecuador, and that's only 10,000 British Airways Avios points. And if you want to go a little more south, for only 12,500 British Airways Avios points, you could get to Lima, Peru. So even if you don't live in Miami or the Miami airport isn't close to you, the idea of using sweet spots is that if you could somehow get a cheap flight to Miami, let's say spend a day there or even the same day, but I recommend having a day apart, then you get these really cheap points flights down to South America, and you're just pretty much using these airports as hubs. Even if you don't want to leave from Miami or go to these South American destinations, you could find cheaper flights from these places. So this is the way that I like to book flights, is to get the most value from certain routes like these that I'm saying, and then from there, they're kind of like hubs. Then I go to other destinations. When using miles and points, I think it's important to get the most value out of your miles and points first. That should be the priority. Then the destination should be second. So if you have a few destinations in mind and you have flexible dates, I think that's the best way you're gonna get the most value out of your miles and points compared to having a fixed destination and fixed dates. Most likely, if that's the scenario, you're gonna be losing on value when redeeming your miles and points. There are a few different ways that you could earn British Airways Avios points. The first one would be the Chase British Airways Visa card, which currently is offering a 120,000 points sign-up bonus, but you have to complete a high minimum spending for that. So if you can't spend a lot on a card right now, then I recommend getting either a Chase card or American Express card, because you could transfer points over from Chase or American Express at a 1-to-1 ratio to British Airways. So some of the cards that you could get is the Chase Sapphire Preferred card or Chase Sapphire Reserve card or the Chase Ink Preferred card. And either of those cards will transfer over to British Airways at a 1-to-1 ratio. With American Express, you could get the American Express Platinum card, the Gold card, and there are a few other options as well. Before transferring your points over to British Airways because you're excited about these sweet spots, I'd recommend making sure there's availability first. Because once you transfer your points over, there's no way to transfer them back to either Chase or Amex. All transfers are final, so make sure there's availability before transferring. The next airline sweet spot is going from North America to Asia Zone 2 according to the ANA Mileage Club. So ANA is a Japanese airline and they have really good rates for round trips only. So if you plan on any of these destinations, which I'll mention, you could get a really good deal round trip. Unfortunately, they don't do one-ways for their award flights. ANA considers these countries to be part of Zone 2, and I think what's most favorite of people is India and Thailand, which can be really expensive to get to, whether cash or points wise. To get a round trip from North America to either of these countries that I mentioned in business class, low season, so off-peak season, it would be 100,000 miles round trip. And to go in economy class, it would be 55,000 miles round trip. Those are really good prices if you could find availability. And just one tip, If you're planning to go to Japan, usually when you fly ANA to Japan round trip, it'll have high fuel surcharges, but if you go to any of these Asian countries, there won't be any high fuel surcharges, even if you direct through Japan. If you want to get ANA miles, you could transfer your American Express membership reward points at a 1-to-1 ratio. And to get these American Express membership reward points, as I mentioned before, the American Express Gold Card, Platinum Card, as well as 3 other business American Express cards too, and you could transfer those over to ANA to redeem this sweet spot. Instead of United Airlines using first class seats on their flights, they're now using Polaris business class seats. So now award travelers can benefit from business class pricing for award flights. So these seats are really nice and you don't have to pay first class award pricing for them. It would cost 25,000 Avianca Life Miles to get a business class one-way flight from Newark, New Jersey, which is EWR, to LAX, Los Angeles in business class. This is a great way to try out the Polaris United Airlines seats, which are really nice and comfortable. If you're interested in this sweet spot, there are a few ways to get Avianca miles. You could either get the Avianca Vida Visa card or the Avianca Vuela Visa card. Both come with sign-up bonuses and both have annual fees. If you don't want to get those Avianca credit cards, you could transfer your American Express membership reward points or Citi Thank You points at a 1-to-1 ratio over to Avianca Life Miles, or you could even transfer your Capital One Venture Miles over to Avianca Life Miles at a 2-to-1.5 ratio. And to transfer to Avianca with Capital One, you could use the Capital One Venture Card or Capital One Spark Card, which is the business version. And then you could use, for Citibank, for Citi Thank You points, you could use the Citi Thank You Premier Card or the Citi Prestige Card to transfer those points over to Avianca. And as I mentioned before, make sure that there is availability first before transferring over these points. Are there any airline sweet spots that you really like or any of your favorites? Let me know in the comments below. And this is the first time that I'm talking about airline sweet spots in this format. Let me know what you think of this video. If I should provide more details, less details, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and want to watch more videos on credit cards and travel points and how to take advantage of airline sweet spots, then you could click any of these videos over here, and I'll see you in the next video.